let's pick our team then for Southampton. Gorsty, I'll come to you first. Obviously, Alisson Becker in goal, but I'm going to make a couple of changes in my back four. What are you going to go for with yours?
Well, we've got no Van Dijk, have we? So it's going to be Konate and Matip. I'm weighing up whether to bring in Gomez, but for the reasons I outlined before when we were talking about Trent, I'm just reluctant to ever give him a rest, just because he's just so crucial to how Liverpool play, isn't he? How they attack. So I'll go with Trent and Tsimikas. So there's my back five.
Yeah, I didn't even have to ask you this time, did I? Normally it's a case for Tsimikas.
The case, yeah.
There is this time. I'm going to go with Gomez, Matip, Konate and Tsimikas. Theo, is that the same for you, or are you keeping Trent in?
I think I'm keeping Trent in. I think there is still that glimmer of a hope, so you can't go too reserve, but at the same time I'm making lots of changes. So Tsimikas starts, Trent can keep his place, Alisson's in goal, and then Konate, he's played 120 minutes. He's played a lot in the past couple of weeks. Maybe he can be on the bench and it'll be Gomez and Matip at centre-back for this one. But then I wouldn't be against Gomez at right-back with Trent getting a rest as well. But yeah, he's one of the star players in this team when you think so many of them will be given a rest.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Gomez at centre-back, wouldn't it? Richard, who are you going to go for?
Well, obviously Alisson in goal. I'm keeping Trent in. I think you've got to have him in. I know Jurgen doesn't really like to make too many changes all in one go at his back line. With that in mind, I'm definitely keeping Trent. And I also think he might just be the key to unlocking the goal that is required to see off Southampton. Konate, yeah, it's a good point about how long he played, but I think he's young enough and fit enough to handle it. So I'll have Konate and Mate in the middle and the Greek Scouser in at left back.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the midfield then. I think there could be a couple of changes in here. Gorsty, who are you going to go for in there?
I suppose it's just a case of who's fit, isn't it, really? I wouldn't be playing Thiago. Fabinho obviously can't play anyway. Henderson, be reluctant to start him as well. So, Milner, Jones.
Keita?
I think it's going to have to be, isn't it? I mean, Elliott's there and Oxlade-Chamberlain, neither of them have played much, and Liverpool do still need to win this game.
Only played, what, 70, 75, was it, that Keita played at the weekend? So
yeah, it's going to have to be Keita, isn't it? Milner, Keita and Jones. Similar to the Newcastle midfield a couple of weeks back, near enough, isn't it? It's just Jones instead of Henderson. So that you'd think, or you'd hope, should be enough to get round Southampton side who've got nothing to play for.
Yeah, that's the three that I was going to go for. Theo, what about you? I mean, it's interesting there that neither me or Gorsty has mentioned Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. You've got Harvey Elliott there as well. There are still a few options that we've not mentioned.
There are, but there's no rhythm there, is there? Klopp said that in the press conference today, that they'll make changes, they'll lose rhythm. But at least the players you've just mentioned have been playing games. They have been rotated in and out. Oxlade-Chamberlain and Elliott, I don't think they've played since Nottingham Forest, have they? So they haven't played since the March international break. More times than not, they're not even making the bench. And in the case of Oxlade-Chamberlain, no one would be surprised if he left in the summer. Whereas Elliott, it's a case of getting back from that long-term injury, getting a full pre-season, then he can go again next year. It's down to the remaining four, isn't it? You'd be reluctant to start Henderson, given that he played 120 minutes, but there is no alternative as the number 6. So can James Milner do that role? I agree with what we said earlier. He was brilliant at Wembley, but he's brilliant when he goes further forward. It's a tough one. I think let's go with the 3 names that you think will make sense. They'll be the freshest ones of Keita, Jones, with Milner sitting. But you might just have to ask Henderson to go again, because it is usually him or Fabinho's the number 6, and we know Henderson's the only one available.
Henderson or no Henderson, Richard?
Oh, Henderson's in for me. I'm going to buck the trend a little bit here because I've already bigged this game up as massively important. So if you're only looking as far ahead as the next game, that's what I'm doing. I'm actually, despite the minutes they've played, I don't like when the midfield's changed. It's just felt disrupted and not felt right. Keita and Jones together the other week just didn't feel like it was working for me. I'm going to go with Henderson, Keita, and Thiago.
Interesting. The big hitters. Ghosty into the forward three. Obviously, Mohamed Salah, we don't think is going to be involved. And Diogo Jota doesn't particularly like playing on the right-hand side, but does it have to be him for this one?
Yeah, I think so. I can't really make a case for Origi and or Minamino starting. Firmino was way off the pace, I thought, on Saturday. He just didn't really seem like he was anywhere near 100%. Are we asking Mane to go again? It's fraught, isn't it, with problems, this team selection, because it's such a tight turnaround. I think Liverpool are quite fortunate in that they're playing Tuesday and Sunday, because that's so much better than the dreaded Wednesday, Saturday afternoon that Klopp absolutely hates. But the flip side of that is it's so close to the FA Cup final as well, isn't it, after 120 grueling minutes. Yeah, I think Jota's going to have to play. Do you know what? I'm going to play Origi and Mane.
Interesting. I'm going to go Jota, Firmino, and Diaz, I think, but definitely think we'll see Origi at some point on the bench. Theo, which three for you?
I've already told you Origi scoring 6 and clawing back that goal difference. So
Origi how many is Minamino scoring?
Minamino is only a sub for this. I know it's his former club, but as I was saying about rhythm, don't really want to throw him in when he's not played in weeks. I thought Jota actually did really well on the right against Chelsea. He was unlucky, wasn't he, with one chance that he just fizzed wide. He was linking up well. He's finding it not as explosive form from earlier in the season, but considering he looked a bit shaky after that injury, he's getting a bit back to his best. So Jota can start on the right. And it's going to have to be Firmino down the middle. Origi's going to have to go on the left. When you've got those doubts over like Mohamed Salah, you can't put the pressure on Sadio Mane, I think, to keep playing again, because then you're risking him getting a knock as well. And then when you're having both of them potentially doubts for that Champions League final, it's not worth it. Just protect Sadio Mane, protect Diaz, knowing you can bring him off the bench with half an hour to go, and then he can start against Wolves. He's still got faith that Firmino, Origi, Jota front three's got goals in it. They can do a job, hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, you'd certainly like to think so. Richard, which three are you going to go with, Origi or not?
Well, no. I picked what I thought was the strongest midfield I could pick, and it's no different for the front three.
You just want to flog them into the ground, you, Rich?
Mate, well, yeah, you know. Mate, look, I suppose what it is, everything's looking beyond it. And I can't look beyond Southampton. I just can't. And they need, if you can get that game boxed early and then make changes, then that's just my approach to it. What I'm worried about is a situation where you've laboured for an hour and then you're trying to bring your big guns on to win it, and then you run out of time or something like that. I don't know what it is. I'm worried about it. So. I've got Diaz on the right, Mane down the middle, and Jota on the left. Sorry, Diaz on the left, Jota on the right, and Mane down the middle. Sorry, Sadio.
Yeah, no Roberto Firmino then for you from the start, but imagine he could come off the bench at some point. Those are our teams then. We'll see who's closest to being correct. Just before we finish, though, we'll do our match predictions. I'm going to go for a nervy one. Sorry, Richard. I think it's going to be 1-0 to Liverpool. I think it's going to be a really tricky one, actually, with such a short turnaround and possibly a couple of changes as well. Gorsty, 1-0 for me. What are you going to say?
See, I was going to say that this is the type of game that City playing and they've won it after half an hour, but City actually drew at Southampton, didn't he? That was the game where you just kind of started to think maybe something's brewing here, but yeah, they don't have the goal difference issue to really overly concern themselves with. So yeah, maybe 2-0.
Theo, Liverpool win?
9-0. Southampton haven't done that this season. I think along with Wolves, who are the two teams Liverpool got left, bottom of the form table over the last 10 games, apart from Watford and Norwich, the two relegated teams. So, yeah, let's believe in miracles. I'm sticking with 9-0. Southampton have done it for the past 2 years. Let's see it again. It'll be nice. Get the goal difference back anyway, just for that bit of insurance.
9-0. Okay, I was not expecting you to say that. Richard, are you closer to 1-0 or 9-0?
Thought I was wild.
I'm still sleep deprived after Wembley, clearly. Didn't get back until 4.
Oh, okay. Tell me about it. I'm not going to say 9-0. I'm not going to say 1-0. But I do fancy Liverpool, because of the strong team I've selected. I do fancy Liverpool to try and do a job on this in the first half. And I'll say, after going around the houses, I'm just going to agree with Gorsty and say 2-0. But I think they will try and get the job done early and then manage the game from there on. That's my take on it.
Yeah, that'd certainly be ideal, wouldn't it? Well, 4 Liverpool wins for all of us predicted. Hopefully that does come true and we take it to the last day. We'll have, of course, more on that over the next couple of days. Plenty more stuff to come across all of the usual places, pre and post-match as well. There's some interviews with Jordan Henderson and Andy Robertson on the Blood Red channel. If you haven't spotted those yet, do go across and check those out. The usual content around Southampton to come as well on Tuesday. Until next time, though, from all of us here, it's goodbye for now.